Welcome to the HU Move Makers podcast, where we highlight folks that are blazing the trail and making moves in Howard culture. Welcome to the HU Move Maker podcast, where we highlight Howard folks that are blazing the trail and making moves in their respective field. Today, we got someone from the Black College Football Hall of Fame. This brother has done everything from work on prison reform, two-time Walter Payton Man of the Year, 25 interceptions, 1,300 plus tackles, Super Bowl champ, three-time Pro Bowler, Cardinals, 49ers, Giants, the Colts, Howard University, criminal justice, all the way from, I believe I know you played high school in Virginia.
Yeah.
I believe he's from Savannah, Georgia. This brother has had interceptions against folks like Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady. Ladies and gentlemen, Antoine Bethea. Bro, thanks for coming on the show today, man. I appreciate it.
Nah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
So, man, coming out of high school, you was 5'0" nothing, 100 nothing, too light, too small. No Division I offers, man. None at all. No Division II offers. So you make your way to Howard. And then after Howard, you make your way to the NFL. You play 13 years, three-time Pro Bowler. How does that even happen, man? Football is hella physical. You know what I'm saying? Hella fast, brutal. How does that even happen, man?
Man, it was a blessing, man. The man upstairs, man, he doesn't make any mistakes, man, and he had a path for me, man. And a path that, a lot of youngsters take. For me, like you said, I really didn't have a lot of offers coming out of high school. And just, a little bit of my story was, I was getting recruited to Norfolk State at the time. Coach Ray Petty, he was the defensive coordinator there. He happened to get the head coaching job at Howard. At the time, my head football coach at my high school, they were good friends. They had a prior. They was coaching prior at Howard University, like in the early '90s, together. And when he got the head coaching job, he brought Coach A.C. Cawthorn on as the offensive coordinator. And at that time, when he got the head coaching job at Howard, they were really, out of scholarship money. So he told me, look, I love the way you play the game, but if you come to Howard, we not gonna have much money to give to you. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, I will give you an opportunity to gain a full ride going into your sophomore year. So, I went on a visit to Howard, man. And after that visit, I was telling my folks, I'm like, man, I gotta go there. It's somewhere I need to be. And, I was able to go to Howard, and really like on a preferred walk-on partial scholarship. And, I worked my butt off, you know what I'm saying, on and off the field. And he held his word my sophomore year, man. I was awarded a full ride, and, the rest is history.
So coming out of Virginia, man, you had to be, I'm pretty sure that you was pretty good at football in high school too, right? I'm sure you was dominating at that level.
Yeah, man. It was one of them situations where so I played football and basketball in high school. And on the football field, I played middle linebacker. So if anybody knows, about football, middle linebacker, he's probably going to be one of your biggest, one of your toughest, one of your biggest guys on the field. And just going to that next level, you're not going to have any middle linebackers.
So like a Ray Lewis.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have too many middle linebackers playing at 195 or 200 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So my senior year, I was probably 5'9", $175. So, when the recruits were coming into the building, they didn't have any film on me playing any other position but middle linebacker. So it was kind of one of those things. But again, my path was my path, man, and it paid off.
Man, so when you coming out of high school, or even in high school, were you thinking like, man, I want to go to Virginia Tech? Were you thinking about schools like that, or you just like, I just want to play at the next level?
I mean, honestly, of course it was one of them things like, I want to go to a bigger school. So, you had guys my year, like Marcus Vick, he was parade All-American, going to VTech. We had a lot of guys around my area that was going to big time schools, Virginia Tech, UVA, Florida State and things of that nature. And I just felt as though, I still I had a capability of being able to go in those big schools, but it just wasn't the cards wasn't dealt that way.
Did you
At that
feel
point,
like you always felt like you could make it to the league or play at that next level?
in high school, it was just, man, I just want to go to college and play ball. You know what I'm saying? That was always one thing. I like, my coaches and my counselors always kind of like preached to the student athletes was that, you have ability to do something. Just try to get to that next level and pay for schooling so your parents don't have to pay for it. So in high school, of course, it was a dream, but it wasn't really something that I was like, okay, this is something that I have to do.
True. So you get to the NFL, man. I mean, that's crazy. Like you get to Howard. Obviously, you did your thing freshman year, sophomore year. You did your thing on the field. At what point does it say, man, I really got a legitimate chance to get to the NFL?
I would say legitimately, I say my junior year. I had a teammate, Ron Bartell. He was in his senior year, and he had a lot of pro scouts coming up to Howard, looking at him. And my coach would always say, the scouts are asking about you, so just keep doing what you're doing and going into. And then the end of my junior year, his senior year, he got drafted the second round by the St. Louis Rams. So that right there, kind of like, to myself is like, this is something.
He went in the second round?
Yeah, he went to the second round. So it was something in my mind. I was like, if Ron can do it, playing alongside Ron and just kind of seeing him go through the process, I told myself this is something that I feel as though I can make happen. So, going into my senior year, it was kind of really, notion in my mind that, I can make this happen. I can make this move.
So why not? Was there ever a temptation ever to like transfer, maybe go to a bigger school?
Nah, never.
Because you see, what's his name, Newton. He just left and he went to Auburn.
Yeah, so his situation was a little different than mine. You know what I'm saying? Like my years, man, my 4 years, I tell people to this day, like my 4 years at Howard probably still like some of the best 4 years of my life. You know what I'm saying? And just the coaches that I had on the coaching staff, I think it was just a little different dynamic than when Kayla Newton was there. Obviously, I think he was going through like going to be like his third coach in a short time that he was there, and then just the turmoil that was going on the football team with the coaches and things. Like I just think his experience was just a little different than mine, so it was kind of a situation that was best for him to transfer.
Yeah, plus playing quarterback, and I know he's switching positions, but that's a tough, a lot on your shoulders, man, and then being Cam Newton's little brother too. I know he had a different type of expectation. So when you come out of Howard, from what I read, they had you pegged to come out in the third round. And third, I guess I would say, like, for football, for people who don't watch, is it safe to say like those first 3 rounds, those are like the lottery pick rounds?
You can say that. Those first 3 rounds are kind of the rounds where you can say, the players picking those rounds are kind of like they will make the team for that first year.
So you get picked in the 6th round, though.
Mm-hmm.
But even just leading up to draft day, like, what's going through your mind? I know you're thinking like, man, like, what are pro days like for someone that maybe when the scout is coming to look at Howard, they're only looking at one player. They're not evaluating 10 guys. Do they come to Howard, or do you have to meet up with a bunch of other guys from small schools?
So the way I was kind of like formatted. So I was fortunate enough to get an invite to the NFL Combine. So that was huge, where I could kind of like position myself against the bigger schools. You know what I'm saying? And me having a good performance at the Combine When we did have our pro day, it kind of put that on my shoulders, where the other seniors on our team who was trying to get that look, I was, helping them as well, where scouts was coming in to look at me, where my other teammates could shine as well. And the way I was formatted as well was that, we had, other smaller schools around our area, Bowie State, things of that nature that, at first they were going to perform at Pro Day as well, but it didn't happen that way. But again, Pro Day, NFL scouts, they come, they look at you perform. Like I said, being that I performed at the NFL Combine, there was some things that I didn't do. All I did was my position drills, because of I was just like, I'm selling the numbers that I had coming out the Combine.
So when you get to Pro Day, are you like looking around like, man, these dudes play for top 25 schools. I don't know if I can compete. Or you like what's your mentality like?
Or
you like, man, barbecue, you like barbecue chicken.
Hey, that's exactly what it was, man. Because I knew, like, not to sound cocky or anything like that, but I knew my ability. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched those guys on Saturdays after we would play. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, this is just a perfect stage for me to showcase, what I could do.
Dang, so what are they saying to you? Like, what are they like? Damn, why'd you go to Howard?
I mean, that's always a question, you know what I'm saying? But that question, it's the question after the fact, you know what I'm saying? After the fact, after I played 4 years, now I'm down to the stage. So of course it's going to be, okay, why you go to Howard? But it wasn't that in 02 when, you know what I'm saying, when the process was going. So again, everybody has their story, and that was my story.
So one of the interesting things you said, you were like, those first 3 rounds, those are people that's pretty much going to make the team. Sometimes I remember as a kid, I'm thinking just because you got drafted, that meant that you was on the team. It don't work out like that, especially in football where injuries are guaranteed. You know what I mean? It's cutthroat. It's only 16 games. You can get everybody's playing hurt. So when you don't get picked in that 3rd round, what are you thinking? Like when you don't get picked in those first 3 rounds.
So like the draft is funny, and even up leading to the draft is kind of funny, man, because you got people telling you all type of different things. Like, they say you can get picked in the 2nd round. Some say you're gonna be a free agent. Some say you're gonna be 4th or 5th round. So like, for me, going into draft day, I was like, man, at the end of the day, I just want an opportunity, man. I just want to hit my name call. If my name's not called, I want to get that phone call and say, look, we want to bring you in as a free agent to whatever team. So for me, it was like, man, just give me that opportunity. And once I get out there on the field, everything is under my control. You know what I'm saying? So all I can do is control what I can control. So still, again, my name wasn't called the first 3 rounds, first 5 rounds, but my name was called in the 6th round. And again, like I said, I just wanted that opportunity, and I just told myself when I did get that opportunity, I was gonna make the most of it.
Man, and you did, bro. So you get drafted to the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Is Payton Manning on that team?
Yeah.
Man, you get drafted. So now you playing who? No shade to the Howard quarterback, but you go from Howard, now you playing with Payton Manning, Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
So you still got black coach, which is dope.
Mm-hmm.
You playing alongside Bob Sanders, who known for laying hits on cats. And not only that, you beat out some folks to start to get that spot, right?
Yeah.
So what was it like first day of like you get into an NFL facility? Because HBCU, we're not known for having the best facilities, man. You basically playing on cement. You know what I'm saying? When you at Howard, now you go to a professional club and you playing against cats that when they was in college, they got the best facilities. Now you got trainers. I mean, we had trainers, but you got all the amenities that you could ever ask for.
Right.
And then you playing against grown men, for lack of a better word, like grown men, man. What is that like in training camp when you arrive?
Man, not gonna say I was in awe, but like you said, like, these are guys that I'm watching on TV, probably 3-4 years prior to me getting to there. So like you said, I walk in the locker room, it's Peyton Manning, you got Marvin Harrison, you got Reggie Wayne, you got, you know what I'm saying? You got future Hall of Famers, you know what I'm saying? So for me, 21 years old, coming out of Howard, it was just like, man, like I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you obviously have those moments like those all moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, like them, you got to snap out of those moments quick. Where now these are my peers. You know what I mean? These are people that I'm going against. These are people that I'm competing with to win a job. And again, man, it was one of them things. Like once I got out there on the field and put those cleats on, man, it was like business as usual.
Really?
And I just felt as though if I can perform well in practice against Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and guys like that, then the games are going to be easy. You know what I'm saying? Not easy, but I'm going against the best, man, and that was just something that I just went into practice every day. It was like, man, just go out there and just do your thing, man, and let just control what you can control.
You ever get any interceptions off Payton in practice?
Yeah, man, and it's crazy where Coach Dungy kind of talked about this, where it was going in, I was a number 6 safety. Going into my like OTAs
on the depth chart.
Say it again.
On the depth chart.
Yeah, I was number 6 out of 7.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was number 6 out of 7. So going against the second and third team, I was doing well. So it was one practice where the coach was like, all right, throw him in there with the starters. Let me see how he does. And the first practice, man, I got a pick off Payton, right?
Whoa, that's crazy.
So then the next day, it was, all right, we're going to throw you out there again. I got another pick off Payton.
And so for people that don't know football, at this time, Payton is like considered like the greatest quarterback ever. You know what I'm saying? Arguably. I mean, he still is now, arguably maybe top 5. But for you to go in, you intercepting, not to cut you off, but Payton Manning, like what goes through your mind when you like, damn.
Exactly
I just intercepted Payton Manning.
Exactly what you just said. I'm like, damn, it's money right here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I said, it was day 1, day 2, day 3.
Damn.
And in my mind, I'm like, man, it's good money out here. Like I'm doing all right. And but still, still putting that work in, and not letting it really go to my head. Because at that time, like I said, it's OTAs, it's during the spring, and all we got is helmets on. So we really don't have the pads on. We're not really banking yet. And it was just during that period once we left in the middle of June, where we had like a month off. My DB coach was just like, man, like you had a great spring. It was like, now when we come back with the pads, if you can tackle, man, you're gonna have a good chance of making this team and really getting a lot of playing time. And in my mind, I was like, tackling, that's like my forte. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm great at. So I was like, man, it's just, just me waiting to get back in late July, early August, man, so we can put the pads on. And
so how were y'all getting paid at this point when you're not officially on the team yet? They just own your rights.
So the way it goes, I was drafted. So draft players, you get a signing bonus. So obviously the higher, the earlier the round, the higher your signing bonus is. So my sixth round, I think at that time my signing bonus was $50,000. You take the taxes out of that, so I ended up getting probably like $25,000.
Damn.
And then week to week, you do get a small little check for working out. You know what I'm saying? So you get like a check that's maybe like, what was it? Probably getting like $500 a week.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? $500 a week. So that's how we was getting paid at the time.
Damn. So I mean, I know you get that $50,000 check, and now you like, damn. Then you like taxes, agent, this, that, the third. But you're just happy to be there. At this point. So your coach says you gotta be able to tackle. You like, yo, I could tackle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I know how to do is tackle. What are some other things that you like, man, I need to work on this if I want to make the team?
It was really my all-around game. Again, like you said, I was still a rookie. Mm-hmm. Even though I've been making plays, I still need to work on my all-around game, my footwork, my coverage skills.
Because, they like, oh, this dude he went to Howard. You know what I'm saying? Like, he going to get cut. You know what I'm saying? He's just here to push the starters or, whatever. In your mind, you like, are you looking at the guys that's ahead of you? Like,
of course. I'm
better than that guy. Or like,
of course. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, even though we're on the same team, it's all about competition. So, again, at this time, when we coming into training camp, I had kind of made a name for myself amongst the team of what I did during the spring. So going into training camp, I'm like, now I was 6 on the depth chart. Now I'm like 3rd on the depth chart. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just working, I'm grinding, and I'm looking at the 2 guys that was ahead of me was Bob Sanders and Mike Doss. And it was just like, all right, what can I do just to get in position where I can go on the field and make plays? So I'm like, I need to know the playbook. Special teams, if there's anything on special teams that I need to do, I'm willing to do that. And then, it was one of them situations where I was kind of going back and forth in with the first team, and I want to say Mike Doss got hurt. So that jumped me
Mike
up.
Doss, he Ohio State.
Ohio State, right. Mike Doss got hurt.
They going to give him the look over you just off of that.
Yeah, but he was there, though. He was there. I think that was his 4th year. So he had been there 3 years. Okay. He was playing really good ball. So, of course, you know what I mean, he was a starter. But when he got hurt, it enabled me to jump in with Bob Sanders. And so I was running with the first team, but I got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm like, damn, I just effed up an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
I messed my knee up, so I was out I ended up missing the first preseason game.
Was this your first time being hurt in football?
Yeah, that's my first time missing a game because of the injury.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how was that? Like, I know you had to have, I don't want to say depressed, but I know you had to be sick.
Nah, sick, man. Because again, like you said, I'm 6th round. I really don't know how this business goes. I'm balling. I hurt my knee. I sprained my MCL. I had never been injured before. I'm walking around with a knee brace on.
Damn.
I'm in the training room. I had never been in the training room like that. So in my mind, like, this is the unknown territory. So I'm like, man, I don't know what's going to happen. The coaches and trainers are telling me, look, you're going to be good. You're going to be all right. But in my mind, I'm like, man, y'all just telling me whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? I was able to get through that situation, get back healthy, get back out on the field.
You made your regular season debut and first career start. You remember who it was against?
Yeah, it was against the Giants, against Eli and them. We was in New York.
That's crazy.
I think it was a Sunday night game, a Sunday night or a Monday night game.
So you playing Eli,
mm-hmm.
and Payton's on your team. Does Payton give you like, hey, he got these tendencies or?
Nah. It was just one of them things where, against that time, New York offense was moving, was rolling too. It was Eli, it was Tiki Barber, Brandon Jacobs, Jeremy Shockey, Plaxico Burress. So they had a real good.
You got to tackle cats like Brandon Jacobs, like 8 feet tall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 400 pounds, man. He don't run from. He looking to make contact.
Mm-hmm.
That game, man. You have 6 combined tackles. You have a pass deflection, and y'all get the W. Yep. So now I gotta imagine, like, at this point, you like, yo, I belong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of the guys now. Like, what's it like to get through that first game?
Man, that might have been the longest game of my life, man. Normally I would go into the game and I would have butterflies, but after that first tackle, after that, first couple of plays, the butterflies would go away. But that entire game I had butterflies. I don't know what it was, man. I couldn't shake them. But that might have been like the longest game of my career. But again, like you said, I got through it.
What are they telling you in the huddle? They calling you Rook? What, they got a nickname for you? What are they saying to you?
At this time it was Twan and it was Black College. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot. I had one of my homeboys. He went to Alabama A&M as well, Robert Mathis, and he was a big time player on our team and our defense. And so they called us Black College. But at this time, man, I was part of the team. You know what I mean? I was one of the boys. So it wasn't really Rook no more. I wasn't playing like a Rook. So there was one thing I earned my respect, man, and the respect was given. So
y'all go 12-4 that season.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all on top of the AFC South, man. So playoffs come.
Mhm.
Playoffs, different beast, man.
Yeah.
Even though football is every game is like the playoffs, but playoffs totally different beast. Now you playing against the best of the best. Everybody playing for a check. Everybody playing for they legacy. The whole nine, man. You started this game, right?
Yeah, so 12-4, and it's funny. So I remember this on like it was yesterday. Our run defense wasn't really that good that year. In our first game, we played Kansas City in the RCA Dome, and they had Larry Johnson. You know what I mean? And he probably
Oh, the
ran
running back.
the running back. Yeah,
Was
he
that
probably
year?
ran.
Was that the year he went crazy?
Yeah, that's the year he went crazy.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, he gonna run all over the defense. So we just like we knew we had to stand up, man. In that game, man, we came in and we probably held them to like 30-some yards. I think it was like 39 yards rushing
The whole game?
the whole game, man. And we balled, man. And just week by week, man, we were just gaining confidence. That next week we went up to Baltimore with Steve McNair and the guys, man, and it was all field goals. I think we ended up winning like 15-9, 12-6, or something like that. It was all field goals. And then that following week, we played New England, and that's the game that everybody talk about. We got down 21-3, 28-3, or something like that, and we was able to come back, man, and win that to solidify
I
our
want to
position.
ask you about that, man. So number one, I want to ask you, what is it like to go from Howard and you get these scouting reports from Howard, but then you go to NFL, scouting reports is way different. Like super, like everybody know like your weaknesses, your tendencies, like it's like down to like everything about you. And then like you will play against somebody like Tom Brady. You got the whole scouting report. You know what he about to do, and they still do it. You know what I mean? Like, what is it like to play against players that are that good, where you know their weaknesses, their strengths, you know what play they about to run, and they still can pull it off?
I mean, because it's about execution. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's why you play the game. Like, I can know everything about you, but if I don't execute the way I'm supposed to execute, that shit null and void. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, that's what excites, I guess, the players and the fans about the game. You know what I mean? It's just like it's Any Given Sunday. You know what I mean? Like that, like the famous movie, man. Any Given Sunday. That's what it's all about.
What is it like to watch yourself on TV, like on SportsCenter for the first time every single week, and now you got the media saying, like, talking about you, like, what is that
Man,
like?
that was a moment, man. That was a moment. Like, the moments of seeing myself on TV, seeing myself on a video game, man, those are moments where I'm like, dang, like I never thought, you know what I mean, I would be in this position. But it's a grateful moment as well, though.
Man, crazy. So okay, so back to that game, man. So you play the Patriots next, and everybody knows Patriots at this point. Right now, they're the greatest, NFL franchise ever, and Tom Brady's regarded by most people as the greatest football player, quarterback of all time. At that point, though, Tom Brady is still considered great. It's like him and Payton are like, pick your poison, whichever one you want to rock with.
Mm-hmm.
That game, you down. I guess it's like you probably in the back of your mind, like, damn, we about to lose this game. You know what I'm saying? Payton legacy is, you know what I'm saying? They about to be throwing him under the under the bus again. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they're gonna be trying to change the defense up because it's all about, because at that time it was like, if Payton can't play offense and defense, you know what I'm saying? Like reporters were talking like that. What was the emotions like in that game, being down and then you coming through with the W?
Man, it was crazy, and it was one thing. It's something about having a great quarterback. Having a great quarterback like a Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. It's like, yo, we always have a chance to win, regardless of what the score is. We always have an opportunity to come back and win the game. Obviously, it's a little tougher when you're going against another quarterback who's good as Tom Brady and how good a team that the Patriots had. But we always believe that, regardless of type situation that we are in the game, we'll have the opportunity to come back. But when the Patriots were scoring, man, and the score was just going up and up, we like, man, like, nah, we didn't come this far for to go like this. You know what I'm saying? And one good thing about Coach Dungy, man, he was always calm, and whatever type of situation we found ourselves in, like we can always look to Coach Dungy, and Coach Dungy be like, all right, fellas, yo, we good. And that's kind of how it was. Like we went into the locker room, and he was like, look, we're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? So it's a couple things that we're doing here and there that we need to fix. But if we can fix them and we keep doing the things that we're doing right, we continue to do those things right, we're going to be good.
So he really is chill like that?
Nah, he's chill. Like, it's probably one time that I almost heard him say a curse word. You know what I'm saying? But he's real, like, cool, he's calm, collective, and as a team, that's what you need in your leader. You know what I'm saying? If you see a leader get rattled, get a little shaken, man, that's gonna trickle down to the team. But yeah, man, Coach Dungy, man, he was cool, calm, collective, man. We went out there in the second half, man, and took it one play at a time.
Man, so, and let's be honest, man, that year, we knew that whoever won that game between y'all and the Patriots was going to win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from Chicago. I'm a Bears fan, but I remember it seemed like every time we had a big play, it was our defense stepping, and it was like luck. It was like special teams, fumble, somebody running in for a pick six. We had a dope defense. Our offense was suspect though.
Yeah, for sure. So, and that's kind of how we were saying it. Like we was like, man, this is our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like we beat the Patriots, man. There's no way the Bears was gonna beat us. You know what I'm saying? Like no knock on the Bears, like you said. Like they had a good coach, Lovie Smith. The defense that probably had like a record season on their defense, but as a team, we just felt as though we had a better team all the way around. You know what I mean? And we was just like, man, if we could get through the Patriots, man, we'll go down there to Miami, Florida, man, and go down there and get us a ring.
So do football players, like when the schedule come out, like, because when I ain't play past high school, so I would be like, oh, W here, W, like, oh, maybe we probably could lose to them. Do y'all do the same thing?
Sure, yeah. It's like, yeah, we gonna win. We should win this game. We should win this game. This game's gonna be a tough one. This game's gonna be a tough one. We should win. So yeah, for sure. It's just the same way.
That's funny, man. That's funny. So y'all get to the Super Bowl against the Bears, and this is your rookie year, which is crazy. It's really no pressure. I feel like it's really no pressure on you from a team standpoint. You probably putting pressure on yourself, but it's not like you came out like first round this and X, Y, and Z. You starting, but it's not like you the man like that. But you come out against the Bears. I think we scored first.
Yeah, y'all scored the first kickoff.
I know you like, what the hell? What was you thinking at that point?
So, that year he had like, I don't know how many returns he had as far as kickoff and punt return. And it was kind of a debate all week, like, are we going to kick it to him? And, guys was just like, nah, man, like, we can't go in the game scared. Like, kick it to him. So Coach Dungy was like, all right, we're going to kick it to him. First kickoff, he take that jump back. So, everybody like, damn, like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. First kickoff, whatever. Coach Dungy just walk up on the sideline like, all right, that's the last time we're going to kick it to him. Now let's go play ball. And then from there on out, man, it was all she wrote, man. Offense, they went out there and did their thing, man. Our defense played well. So it was all around good game for us.
Dope, man. Well, congratulations on getting that Super Bowl, man. We knew that the way we was winning games that year, we was like, we're not gonna keep winning like this. But at the same time, I started to develop hope once I saw that play and I seen him run that boy back.
Yeah.
When you watch it on TV, you like, it ain't like watching Dion where he just juking. Like, it's like he's just finding holes and then he's getting to the end zone. So I could see why a coach would be like, kick it to him. And then he doing it to every single team, man. So the next season, Pro Bowl, right?
Yep.
You're a Pro Bowler. Now I know you got to feel like, have you been back to homecoming yet at this point?
And you know what? The funny thing about it, that's when I knew it was like, man, like this book is crazy. My rookie year, our bye week was on homecoming. So my my bye week, it was homecoming. That was like one of the first thing, like me and a couple of my guys I went to Howard with, when the schedule came out, we was waiting to see when Howard homecoming was. Because our bye week was it was in October. So it was like, okay, I got that possibility where, I could possibly come back to homecoming. And sure enough, man, it landed on the same week, man. And,
I think I remember. I think I took a picture with you at the tailgate or something like that, or
yeah.
hit you up to be like, "Are you gonna be in town?" Because I was trying to host a party or something like that. But it's funny, man. Howard is like, it's a humbling place, man, because no matter how famous you are, if you went to Howard, you still gonna be treated like, "Oh, what's up, Twan?" You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is.
Like that's what I love about Howard, because I had Lance Gross on the show, and he like the only people that be really excited to see me at homecoming are the people I didn't go to school with.
Right?
Everybody else just be like, "Yo, what up?" Like, and then they keep it moving.
It's like old times.
Yeah, man. What I want to ask you is, at what point do you say, are you looking back like, damn, okay, this is a business? Like, does that click in at any point, or are you still riding off the high of like, I'm happy to be here?
Man, I'm riding off the high, man. I'm like, my first year, I'm a Super Bowl winner. My second year, I'm Pro Bowl. I'm still riding off that high. Obviously, you hear about it's a business, it's a business, it's a business. I really didn't, really gather that until like my fourth year, when we had the lockout, and it was my contract year. You know what I'm saying? So then that's when I'm really starting to realize like how much of a business this is, where it's kind of business first and then football second, where you would think it's the opposite. You know what I'm saying?
So when you're playing, so let's say your contract's about to expire at the end of the year. Is that something that players talk about? Like, yo, I got to ball out this year
No,
because,
sure.
I got to get, because really a lot of players, unless you picked in like that first whatever group of players, that second contract is where you want to get paid. And if you're fortunate enough, you can get a third, big contract as well. So what's the mindset, and who when you're going into a year like that, where of course you still love the game, but your body has been abused basically since you've been playing football. So this is the time when you can really set your family up, you know what I'm saying, so that you can be straight after football.
Right.
Like, what's your mindset going into that season?
Man, you kind of hit it on the head, man. Like, you going into that season, like, man, I got a ball. This has to be the season, so you can get to that second contract. When we came in, the first rounders were getting a lot of getting that big money. It's not like that anymore. But that second contract, like you said, that's when you can kind of like set yourself up for after football. You can set the family up for after football. So obviously, when you going into that fourth year, that's what it was. It was like, man, I got a ball. But really not trying to put too much pressure on myself where I'm trying to go out there and do too much and not being myself. But you got to go out and have a good year, and so the team can be like, okay, we need this guy. You know what I mean? So obviously, guys think about that all the time, especially like you said, going into that contract year, trying to get that big money.
You outplayed your first contract, but because you're on a good team, you're getting playoff checks, you're getting Super Bowl checks, you're getting Pro Bowl checks. What's it like to get like them extra checks?
The old guys, that's all they used to talk about. And it's crazy that my base salary in my rookie year was $225, and I almost made my salary in 4 games in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So $225 throughout the duration of 16 games, I almost made that in 4 games. So like you said, like getting that extra money, man, is perfect. And then like you said, like you go to the Pro Bowl, the winner get like 30, the loser gets like 25 to 35, and the winner they get like 70. So all those things, man. When you get to that position, man, everybody's trying to get that extra little bit of change.
So, right. So like you, so which is dope, especially for you because you was just happy to be there. So I know I know what that feeling is like, not on the NFL level, but I know, what that feeling is like to be like, man, and we getting paid for this, and I love doing this too.
Right,
Like,
right.
oh man, like we straight. So now you get to that fourth year, you like always in the amongst the leaders and tackles in the entire NFL. Um, I want to say they offered you like 2.5, or something like that.
That year, so it was crazy, and it was another like dynamic during that year is that that's when the lockout happened. So that's when the lockout happened, where
I
it
know you
was
like, damn.
right. I can't catch a break. You know what I'm saying? It's like the lockout happened. It was no free agency. And free agency, that's when like you can kind of market yourself to like other teams. Not other teams are kind of like it's like a bidding war, and that kind of plays in the player's advantage. Where one team is like, okay, we'll give you X amount of dollars, and you're like, well, this team is willing to give me this amount. You know what I'm saying? But during the lockout, I didn't have that. So I'm like, ain't this some shit? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I finally get to that. I'm finally getting to that point. It's my second contract. I'll be able to bid teams against each other, but it's the lockout. You know what I mean? It was kind of blessing in disguise though, because I was able to go back to Howard. I was able to finish my degree. I got my
Oh,
degree.
okay.
So that was cool. And then one thing I do, and that's why I always love the Colts and Bill Poland. He was the GM at the time. They didn't have to do that, but I think I might have been the only person during the lockout to really get another contract. You know what I'm saying? So that's how good that organization was at the time. That's how good the management was. They really didn't have to do that at the time, just because the lockout really was no football business going on. But they did offer me a contract, and at that time I was like, man, I'd be a fool not to accept what they was offering me. So I was able to sign that contract during the lockout.
So when you're negotiating that contract, it's your agent that's doing a lot of this, right?
Yeah, so the agent works for the player. So the agent, he's talking to the team, and then the agent's coming back like, look, they saying they want to give you this. Are you cool with that? Like, nah, go back and push for something better.
Oh, so you tell them like, nah, you want more.
Yeah, and then yeah. So the agent works for the player. So if the player's like, nah, I'm cool with that, cool. But then obviously the agent is like, look, man, you could get more, so don't settle for this. But if an agent come back to the player with a number and be like, look, this is the number.
So what if the agent is? What if you say, man, I think I get more, but the agent is like, I don't think it's more out there for you. Do you take
So
that person's advice?
I mean, that's why you hire them. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you hire them to advise you in your business. You know what I'm saying? So if you like, yo, I think I could get $5 more million, and your agent is like,
Damn,
I don't think
5 mil.
so.
Just imagine saying like 5 mil, like to the team is. I mean, for you, that's like these are big numbers that we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? This ain't being at Howard and you betting somebody $20 or $100. Like this is $5 million. They like this is big money. So I'd imagine that when a team is saying why you shouldn't get paid, you can't take it personal because they pointing out deficiencies in your game. They're like, well, look what happened here at this game.
And
Look,
and
look.
and that's the business part that a lot of people don't understand. Whereas the first leading up to that point, they loving you like, yo, you doing this for the team, you bring this to the team. But then when you talking about, look, I want my money, then they gonna flip it to like, well, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the business part. And then right after you sign that deal, it's supposed to be all love again. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
a lot of times it's like when the agents are talking to the teams, there's a lot of things that the teams are saying to the agents that the agents don't say to the players, because the players will take that person. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to have that person in the middle sometimes to be able to negotiate that deal for you.
And you've had the same agent the whole time?
Yeah, yep. All my going into my 15th year this year, I've had the same agent.
So how did you get this person?
So Adisa Bakari, man, he's from DC, man. He's a HBCU grad as well. He went to Delaware State, man. And it was one of them things where you kind of vet him out. You have like a bunch of agents coming to you, say, look, man, we would love to represent you. And it's just one of them things where, you sit them down with your parents. You listen to their little spill. And really for me, it was just a comfort thing, man. Adisa, he came into the household, sat down with me, my mom, my pops, man, and he shot it to us straight. He didn't, shoot us any lies. He didn't sit there and say, yeah, I think Twan is a first round draft pick or whatever the case may be. He was like, look, man, I like Twan. I like his demeanor. I like his personality. I like the way he play the game. And I just think we can have a good partnership, man. And now, like I said, I'm going on 15 years, man. He's not even like an agent to me anymore. It's like a big brother, man. Our relationship is strong.
Man, so now you get you sign with them, man. You get 27 mil, 8 guaranteed. When you actually see that come through the email or whatever, like what's that feel like? Because I people can live 100 lives and never, make that type of bread. I mean, what does that feel like? Even though the government getting half of a lot is still a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Yeah.
like it's still a ton of bread. What does that feel like at that moment?
Man, I was excited, man. I can't even front, man. It was just one of them things where it's like, man, my life is gonna change. My family's life is gonna change, man. And all the hard work is paying off.
So let's take it back, man. Howard, man. So you kind of talked about why you went to Howard and you was gonna go to Norfolk State. Tell me about what was your experience at Howard like?
Man, it was it was a great experience, man. I tell people to this day, man, like I wouldn't change it for the world. You know what I mean? If, people ask me like if you could do it over again, would you choose Howard again? I say, yeah, without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? If I could drop everything right now and I go back to the '02 and I'm running on the yard again, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? That's just how much fun I had at Howard, man. Just the relationships that I was able to gain, the friendships I was able to gain, just the knowledge, how much I grew as a person, just learning about our culture, learning about our history, man. As Black people, as African Americans, man, it was everything.
Dope, man. So what about like traveling, man? Like planning the MEAC, going into these different, being able to see all these different HBCUs. Maybe at the time you probably didn't realize the history, but when you look back, especially now, man, when you got stuff going on with the NFL with Colin Kaepernick and the recent comments from Drew Brees, and when you reflect back on your college career, you like, man, when I was playing football, I was going to all of the Black schools. You know what I'm saying? Seeing like a lot of names that people may not mention, in football now, but you were able to kind of like see like Black culture as it relates to football. Like, what is that like when you think back?
Man, I appreciate it even more, man. Like you said, like when you win it, man, you really don't realize it. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, now just the culture and the state of the where we at right now, man. Like you look back on it and be like, man, we have a rich history, man. And now it's kind of one of them situations. Like we wish we understand how much power that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously now doing this little movement now, this protesting and things of that nature, man. When we coming together, man, it's a lot of things that we're able to shake up. And if we was kind of taught that at a younger age, man, it's so much. I think we feel as though we could really be pushing forward. But I think it's kind of getting to that point now where younger Black student athletes are realizing that they have a lot of power. You know what I'm saying? So if they do choose to go to an HBCU, how much it could shift.
Like when I got to Howard, being around like that level of Black excellence, whether it was beautiful women or just being around positive Black people, like period, and then seeing the diversity, man, of like cats from Virginia, cats from New York, cats from Africa, like how like what about that how did that impact you?
It's nothing like it, bro. It's nothing like it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, my wife, she's a Howard alum as well, and we talk about it to this day. Like, and just going and the funny part about it is, you talk about the PWIs and the different experience where their football experience is different than ours. But as far as going to an HBCU as a young black man, the totality of my experience is way better than a person that goes to Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like you said, like we walking on campus every day and we seeing every day some of like the prettiest, smartest, you know, ladies in the world. You know what I'm saying? And then again, like you said, just the positivity. You know what I mean? Like, I'm from Virginia, you from Chicago. So people
Right.
from Cali, like, you know, at that time in my life, I didn't really come across too many people from California
And then when
or
I'm
the
seeing you on
Midwest.
campus, I'm not looking at you like, oh, this is some big time football. I'm looking at you like, yeah, this is my classmate. You know what
Exactly.
I'm
Like, you know
saying?
what I mean? This a young brother who's going through the same things that I'm trying to. He's doing the same thing that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get ahead in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm him having a good time. I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about my culture, man. And that's one thing that I'll never you know, shy away from. You know what I mean? The HBCU life, man, is something that I enjoyed. I love. It taught me a lot. And you know, again, man, in this climate now, man, it's like, you know, you hear everybody talking about HBCUs, but you know, you didn't attend an HBCU, so you really don't know the type of effect that it can have on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I hate when I hear people say like HBCUs don't have the resources or the world is not black. That's like when I hear people say that, I'm like, you've never been to one, so I'm not even gonna have this conversation.
Conversation, right?
Why don't you think more like why don't I was talking to somebody, I'm like, every year it should be like the Gonzagas of the world should be like Howard. Like all the mid majors should be black schools, you would think. Why don't
Hmm.
more athletes seriously consider and attend, HBCUs?
That's a great question, man. And like you said, man, this conversation that we kind of having behind the scenes is trying to figure out what we can do to really um, push student athletes to go to HBCUs, because, like you said, like football, it's a little different just because of, like you said, the facilities, the notoriety as far as, you know, big time schools playing on big time television or whatever the case may be. So it's a little different. But like you said, as far as basketball, one player can just change the dynamic. Track and field, um, one player can change the dynamic. I think. I don't know the answer. You know, I don't think we're kind of pushing it out there as far as like former HBCU athletes. I think we could do a better job of just talking about our experience and where we at, and just kind of like really pushing that narrative.
What are your thoughts about players getting paid? You think that's a good thing?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. You know, the schools, everybody else is getting paid from the players, so why shouldn't the players get paid? You know, obviously, you know, you got to do it in the right way as far economically, where it's I'm not gonna say fair across the board, but it got to be a situation where it's controllable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough thing, because you don't want players to make mistakes and get, you know, taken advantage of.
But
Um,
they already getting taken advantage of anyway. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah. No, that's true. And now they got something, I think, in the G League where I think they've signed the players that's not going to the NFL. Giving the NBA getting like a $500,000 just to play in the
yeah.
G League.
So that's gonna shake some things up. And obviously, once you've seen that, you've seen how the NCAA kind of changed their stance on the whole idea. But definitely, that G League is gonna shake some things up for the NCAA basketball.
So when you come out of Howard, what year is that?
'06.
So you come out in '06. Had a great time. Had a great time at Howard. And you know what? In terms of was it? Did you ever have any? Were you one of those people like at Howard where your time at Howard went past like that?
Yeah.
It did. It went
Like
past quick.
I thought my 4 years was gonna, you know, I didn't think they were gonna go by as fast as they did. I still remember my first day driving to campus with my parents. You know what I'm saying? Um, and sometimes I still wish where I had I still had my 5th year eligibility where I could have came back. But everything happens for a reason. But my years flew by, man.
Like, how rare is that for somebody to walk onto a program like Howard and then you play 13 years in the NFL? I could see that for like a kicker, but not for
Nah,
like
man, it's
you.
like I said, like when I went there, man, they gave me money for my. I had to pay what I think they gave me money for my. I had to pay for my books, my meals. I had to pay for my books. I had to pay for my meals. I think it's just. I'm trying to think what they paid for. They gave me a little bit of money, but for the most part, man, I had to. Me and the folks, we had to figure out a way. You know what I'm saying?
So you
And
come from a humble background
nah,
in
for
terms
sure.
of okay. So had it not been for financial assistance, you probably don't even go to college. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement. That's a
Man.
fair statement.
So I want to talk about maybe some current events before we wrap up, man.
Hmm.
Um, number one, let's talk about The Last Dance. Did you watch that?
I did. I did. I did.
Was it any players that you played with like MJ?
You know what? And I tell people this all the time, man. MJ was an a-hole, but he said it, man. He was like, to be a leader, man, you got to be like that sometimes. And I would say like Payton had his ways, you know what I'm saying? But he had his ways where he was a perfectionist, you know what I'm saying? And if you wasn't a perfectionist, he was gonna get on you, you know what I'm saying? Now I can speak mainly for what I've seen in practice from the offensive guys, you know what I'm saying? He was a perfectionist, and when you a goat like that, that's how it is. And I'm pretty sure it's like that in all facets of life. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure if it's an actor who's perfect at their craft, or a director who's perfect at their craft, and if you're not on their level, they gonna get on you.
Yeah. How'd you like the documentary?
Um, I thought it was cool, man. I think being a basketball fan, being a Jordan fan, you heard you heard most of it. But I think what it did for me, for a lot of the people that, because I'm a big LeBron fan too. So for a lot of the people that not LeBron for some things, it kind of like, for me, in my eyes, being a player, being in on a professional level, I think it kind of brought it back to um, reality where MJ didn't do it by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Oh
needed
no, yeah, he definitely
he
needed
needed
folks,
he
man.
needed Paxson, he needed Kerr, he needed Rodman. If it wasn't for Pittman, he said he wouldn't be who he was. You know what I'm saying? But again, man, I thought it was dope, man. I thought it was a good documentary.
Okay. So trash talkers, man. Now, from watching football, man, DBs and receivers, man, y'all love to talk trash. Like,
Yeah,
just love to talk. I mean, love to talk, man. I mean, you strike me as a guy that's probably not a big trash talker. Is that true?
yeah, that's true. Nah, I don't do too much talking.
So who's some of the guys that you face that just they don't shut up, man? Like, I remember seeing what's old boy? I think he played for Tennessee, and he got in a fight with Andre.
Or Colin Finnegan.
Yeah, man, he just pissed dude off.
I would say, and Andre Johnson, man, he's a quiet dude. He just go about his work. But
Yeah.
I would say receivers, the two that I played against was Chad Johnson and Steve Smith.
Hey, Steve Smith got hands though.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I would say those two receivers are kind of the two that talk the most.
and what about, and to me, you only a good trash talker if you could back it up.
If you can
You know
back
what
it
I'm
up for
saying?
sure.
So like, what did you have to go one-on-one with those guys?
Now I never had to go one on one. Just playing the safety position, we really didn't have to cover the receivers too much on a one-on-one basis. But just being out there with them, just hearing them, talk to the other guys or whatever the case may be. Like it was fun though. It was all in fun and game.
Okay. What about, man? I hear players say stuff like, man, I'm not trying to hurt them or injure them. I'm just trying to, you know, let them know I'm here. But
Yeah,
it's like, bro, the way you hit that man, you was
it's
trying to
it's
hurt
an
that man.
it's an
You was
aggressive
trying to
game.
hurt
You know
that
what I'm
man.
saying? Like I'm not doing it intentionally,
Man, I don't
but
buy that. I don't buy that. Y'all, man, I just seen some of your hits. I was watching your hits, man, on YouTube. You was trying to you wanted them people not to be able to walk again.
nah, I'm not doing it intentionally, but I definitely want you to know I'm here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the next time you run this way, you know what's coming. So it's not intentional, but it's an aggressive game.
You ever hit anybody, but they really hit you? You know what I'm saying? Like you
Oh
like,
yeah.
damn, this motherfucker
Like,
big.
and I tell guys all the time, I say, you playing this game long enough, man. You can get a few, but you can get got too. So
Who's some guys that maybe you like, damn. Like when you see that you see them on the like when you see you
man,
about to play them, you be like, damn, it's about to be a long game.
Frank Gore,
I can't believe Frank Gore is still playing,
still
first of
rocking.
all.
Yes. I say Frank Gore, Priest Holmes got me one time. Um, I used to hate. I ain't gonna say hate, but I used to always know going against Maurice Jones-Drew. That was always gonna be a tough battle.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
You know
he
what I'm saying? So really, every week you can really go up there and point somebody out, whatever the team you playing.
why do NBA players have so much power when it comes to like being able to flex their brand as opposed to like NFL players?
So I would say NBA players, you see their face all the time. You know what I'm saying? You see their face all the time. It's not as many of them as it is NFL players. Um, and I would say like, because a brand for me, for instance, if you're not like an Antoine, if you don't know me personally, or you're like a fan of the Colts or the Niners or whatever the case may be, you might not know me. You might just know my last name, but then you might just know my number. You might not know my
Yeah.
face. You know what I'm saying? Whereas a LeBron, you know LeBron. You know what I mean? You see his face every time. They don't have that helmet on, so that brand awareness, man, goes a long way. Just with us, just having that helmet on. You know what I'm saying? If you could take that helmet off, our brand, as far as NFL players, could do so much.
Who was the first player? And they asked this question on Knuckleheads. If you ever watched that podcast,
No, I haven't seen that.
yeah, that's Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles.
Okay,
Who
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
who was the first player to bust your ass when you got in the league? Like, damn, like or a player that like every time, like it's just the hardest matchup for you every time you face this person.
Um,
It was like
See, like,
welcome to the
welcome
league.
to the NFL. Yeah. See, like it wasn't a player just because of, like I said, like in my position, like I guard tight ends 1-on-1, and then it might be a situation where a player might get you, but it was welcome to the league. Welcome to the league.
So I know you intercepted.
I would say it might have been my first preseason game I played. And like I said, my first year, I had got hurt in training camp. So I missed the first preseason game. But then that second preseason game, we played the Seattle Seahawks. They had just came off of, I think they made it to the Super Bowl the prior year. Sean Alexander had a huge year. It
Forgot
was my
about him.
it
Running
was
back.
my first preseason game. I started that game. And Sean Alexander, he was a small dude, and I met him in the hole. But I tackled him like 5 yards down the field. You know what I'm saying? So it was like one of the moments. It was like, damn, it's a little different. Like last year at Howard, I meet somebody at the hole, like he going down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like one of the moments. But then, like you said, like every game, man. I ain't gonna say every game, but like you gonna have like every other game, but somebody do something where it's like, okay, like that's a grown man right there. You know what I'm saying?
Drew Brees' comments. Obviously, everybody talking about that lately, and he kind of backtracked on it. And even Roger Goodell has some recent comments about the NFL dropping the ball. Um, thoughts on that? You know,
The Drew Brees statement, man. I think he firmly believed what he said, that he doesn't respect anybody that kneeled at the anthem, whatever. Um, Once again, as it was stated 4 years ago when Cap first kneeled, it was never about the flag. I feel as though Drew Brees is very intelligent. He's very smart. Um, he's been playing a game of football that's majority African Americans for half his life, so he understands. I'm in those locker rooms. Guys talk about what goes on outside the locker room. So he's very intelligent. He's very smart. He knows what's what. And like I said, he stood firm on what he first said on camera. Um, Granted, he came out, he apologized. Whether that apology was sincere or whether because he was getting a lot of backlash, I'm not sure. But I feel as though like his comments was wrong. He's entitled to his opinion, but I just feel as though that was wrong. Because again, like I said, like everybody who speaks up for what Cap kneeled for always said that this has nothing to do with the flag. We respect the troops that go fight for our freedom and our liberties, but this is not what we're seeing. So again, that's what he said. That's with him, that he has to sleep with that. He has to live with that. But I think his comments was wrong. And then from Roger Goodell, I mean, it's good that the league said that they were wrong, but like I just don't believe that this is a $1 billion business and more than half of the league is African Americans, and you didn't know this 4 years ago that what you were doing, what you were saying was wrong. And then again, when you apologize, you don't apologize to the person that kneeled and that's not playing in the league anymore. So again, it's good that in one stance, it's good that they're saying that they were wrong. But then in the other instance, like for me, it's like, Roger Goodell, like I'm not sure how old you are, but you 60-something years old, this has been a problem in the United States of America for a long time. So just for you to say that, okay, now just because of we having this protest, oh, I know we have a problem, like that just doesn't sit right with me.
when it comes to taking sides, I mean, you got the Jay-Z, Colin Kaepernick thing. Are players more siding with Cap or Jay-Z?
I mean, it's tough, man, because honestly, and I play in the league, and sometimes we don't know what's going on or what's being said behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you got Cap, and he took a stand, and that stand was for police brutality. It was for social injustice. It was for a number of things where guys was like, yo, we're with you. You know what I'm saying? And we want to, and they wanted to out the league and show that the league was colluding to keep them out the league or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And then it came down to the fact that they signed a non-disclosure agreement where now we don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? So on one side it's like, okay, like what happened there? And then you got the Jay-Z side where it's like, okay, we passed kneeling. All right, like we're not past kneeling, but we've seen Jay do a lot for our community. He comes up and speak, for different families and gives his money up. So when you talk about size, it's tough because, like I said, it's a lot of times it's a lot of things that we don't know.
Like did you ever kneel at all?
Nah, I just gave it a fist.
Yeah, I saw you raise your fist.
Yeah.
I saw that. Was that a tough? Because you see comments and they're like, man, just don't play or don't do this. But it's harder than that.
I mean, it's a decision that you had to make. You know what I'm saying? And I felt as though at that time I was comfortable with my gestures of raising the fist. You know what I mean? Looking back on it, would I change? Yeah, I think I would have nailed. You know what I'm saying? And for me at that time, I don't think it had to do for some players it was like, this is my livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my paycheck. This is how I'm supporting my family. This is how I'm supporting myself, whatever the case may be. And granted, it was a lot of talk as far as like, they letting the money control you or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you kind of had to be in that moment. Whereas, if you was at your job, and I'm pretty sure there was a lot of times where, a lot of things go on at people's job that they don't really care for. They find like it's racist or whatever, and they don't speak up on it. Why? Because they feel as though, this is my livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that, they're wrong for that opinion, but again, what Cap did kneeling, that was huge. You know what I mean? That was really huge. And a lot of players did feel like, I'm not going to kneel just because of.
Now, were y'all teammates? Were y'all teammates at the?
Yeah.
Oh, so you was.
Yeah,
so
I
you
was
was on
there.
Cap's team, man. That's crazy.
Yep.
What was that like? Because he was doing it. I want to say he did it a few times before it kind of gained.
So he didn't kneel. So he sat down on the cooler. He sat down on the cooler. He just didn't stand for the. He didn't stand for the national anthem. It was during the preseason, and we was in Denver, and somebody took a picture of him sitting down on the cooler, and they kind of asked him like, what was that about? And then that's kind of how it started, where he just spoke on why he didn't stand for the national anthem.
Did you
And
already know that already?
nah, I didn't. We really didn't pay no attention to it. It was just kind of one of them things that just happened. And then when they did show the picture of him sitting down on the cooler, Wars was like, well, dang, like, because it was kind of one of them things where, you get up. It was like a routine thing. Play the national anthem, everybody get up, they stand up or whatever, and, everybody going about their business or whatever the case may be. And then sometimes, he wasn't really the first person to really sit down during the national anthem. Other guys have done it, but it was just like, it was nothing to it. You know what I mean? So when they asked him why he didn't stand and he stated his reasons, that's when we played in, I think it was another, I don't know if that was a preseason game or a regular season game. We was playing in San Diego. And the Green Beret, he came in and they spoke with Cap. And then that's when the decision was, I think it would be better off, or it would come off more respectable if you took a knee. And then that's when he started taking the knee. Yeah.
Do you see Colin coming back in the league?
Right now, at one point in time, I was just like, I didn't. It was just because the league and everybody was just standing so steadfast on, disrespecting the flag. And, from the little workout situation and then signing the NDA, I just thought it was just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Behind the closed door that we, like, the outsiders really just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just felt as though it was a situation where the league put out the workout just to be like, okay, we giving them a chance. It just didn't work out, and they could just kind of like sweep it under the rug. But now, being that they came out and made this apology saying that they were wrong, it might be a different situation now.
And then Trump makes a statement calling NFL players sons of bitches.
Right.
I know y'all like, damn. I know you specifically. You like, like
if people will understand like what these meetings were like, because I vividly will like speak on just like on one of the. At this time, I was in Arizona with the Cardinals, and they would have meetings where like the owners would come in, the coaches would come in, and the players would be in there, and people would just be able to speak freely. Some guys would be, granted, kind of afraid to really speak their piece, but I was always like, I'm not gonna hold my tongue, and I will always speak like, like I feel though that's all right. We should, if you want to do it, you should be able to do it. Like, and no player should be scared to think that their job is up for grab just because they peacefully protested, man. But then it was crazy just how coaches and owners would be like, nah, don't do this. You know what I'm saying? And I vividly remember that just because we was about to play Dallas. It was a Monday night game, and it was just a lot of back and forth, man. And it was just a lot of calls of as far as Antoine, what are you thinking? What are the guys thinking? And that nature, like it's like, you know what I mean? We thinking what we thinking. Don't worry about it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was just it was a crazy time, man. And again, like I said, Cap was right for what he did, and for taking that knee, everything he was taking his knee for is right, because as black men, we do go through that every day. And again, there's still white people out there to this day that just don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you saw Vic Fangio, man. He went and said, man, it was no racism in the NFL.
Right. Like, it's racism everywhere in this world.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Last two questions, man. What advice? And you've been a great guest, man. Last two questions. What advice do you have for somebody that's like yourself, man? Considering, they want to be a professional. They want to play professional sports. They want to, but they don't have the best offers coming out of high school. They want to get the best out of their college experience, and then they want to go on and do what you're doing, man, and make a career out of it.
Man, you just gotta believe, man. Believe in yourself, man, and whatever opportunity you get, man, you gotta make the most of it. You know what I'm saying? You can't allow one situation to define who you are or where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's a small school or you say, for instance, you're not getting a lot of offers. The offers that you do get, break those offers down, man. See what fits best for you. And your situation, and then when you do get there, control what you can control.
Two-time Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Walter Payton played for the Chicago Bears, Super Bowl champ. Everybody loves sweetness, man. Talk about some of the work that you've been able to do in terms of giving back to the community.
Man, that was one thing that I always said that I wanted to do. If I ever had that platform where I could really make a difference, man, that's what I would do. So I started the Safe Coverage Foundation. Now it's a Bethea Family Foundation. That was all, and that's about just giving back to the inner city youth, to help them continue education, continuing education for those that lack the resources, that go to school but then come home and don't really have the resources to really to better themselves. So, the Bethea Family Foundation focuses on that. We do annual college tours. I take students to Howard University every year, and then other schools as well. During Christmas time, we give families money so they can really go out and shop and make sure their family have a great Christmas. We do Thanksgiving drives. I've met with different governors and things of that nature, just to talk about the social injustice in different communities, and in the African American communities as well. So just try to do a lot, man. Just try to use my platform the best way out I can, man. And just try to continue to help the people.
So if somebody wants to donate to the foundation or find out more about it, how would they go about doing that?
You can go to my website, AntoineBethea.com, or you can go to the Bethea Family Foundation .com, and you can donate there. And any donation, man, we would love. Like I said, it goes back to the community, and to help the community.
Dope, man. What about your legacy, man? When it's all said and done, because I'm sure that has Howard retired your letter yet? Your number?
I'm in the they haven't retired my number, but I am in the Howard Hall of Fame though.
That's dope, man. That's dope to be in the Hall of Fame, man. I know I got an award from Howard one time from the School of Business. This is back in 2010. And out of every award I ever got, nothing is better than getting recognized from Howard, man, because you understand the history
of it,
of the university, man. And just that whole 4-year time period was just it just meant so much, when you think back on it. In terms of your legacy, 100 years from now, what are we saying about Antoine Bethea?
Man, Antoine, man, he did it his way. You know what I'm saying? He did it his way. He did it the right way. He did it the respectful way. He gave back to the community. My legacy, I don't want it to be strictly football. Of course, you know, he played ball. He was good at it, but that allowed him to get on a stage where he could do so much more with his platform, and that's to give back to the people, support people that needed help. And that's why I want my legacy to be. You know, I want the Bethea legacy to go a long way. Could have my kids continue that legacy as well. But again, yeah, man, just gave back to the people. He did right. He did it his way. Did it the right way.
Cool, man. So now we're gonna do a little bit of Jeopardy. Let's see what you know about Howard.
All right.
And then a little rapid fire, man. So these are just easy questions to see if you're gonna get these right or wrong. Where'd you stay as a freshman?
Drew Hall.
Oh, you stayed in Drew? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so first question. What year was Howard founded?
1867.
Cool. What is the Howard motto?
The motto?
The motto.
Shit, you got me on that one.
It's truth and service.
Oh, truth is all right. Yeah.
Finish this sentence. Reared against the eastern sky.
Reared against the eastern sky. What's that? On the hilltop high.
Oh man, ain't that a fight song or something like that?
It's a fight song. Yeah.
Yeah, proudly there on hilltop high.
Yeah.
What's the address of Drew Hall?
Shit, I don't know.
I know it's on is that Sherman?
Sherman, yeah. Is it what? 50? I don't know. 60. I don't
know. What's the zip code at Howard?
Is it 2001?
20059.
20059. All right.
Who's the president of Howard?
It's damn, I just had a brain fart. Hold on, don't tell me. Damn. Hold on. I just had a brain fart. What's his name?
It's Dr. Wayne Frederick.
Dr. Wayne Frederick, yeah.
All right. Who is Howard named after?
Stuck me again.
General Oliver Otis Howard.
All
right. What was I about to ask? What's the Black national anthem?
Shit, I don't know that one.
Lift every voice and sing.
Oh, I thought you was asking me to sing the joint.
Oh no.
Oh nah, I don't know that one.
All right, these are rapid fire questions. You just got to give the answer with no explanation.
All
right. First one is U Street or Adams Morgan?
Adams Morgan.
Okay, is homecoming better as an alum or as a student?
Student.
Randy Moss or Jerry Rice?
Randy Moss.
Jordan or LeBron?
LeBron.
Best Howard moment?
06 homecoming.
When did you first learn to say no?
I would say 2000. When I really learned to say no, I say 2011.
All right. Start one, bench one, cut one. All right. We got Ronnie Lott, Rod Woodson, Deion Sanders.
I'll start Deion. I'll bench Rod Woodson. And I'll cut Ronnie Lott.
Man. All right. Start one, bench one, cut one. Intercepting Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, or Phillip Rivers?
I'll start Phillip Rivers, bench Drew Brees,
and cut Payton.
Mm. When did you first realize that you were the shit?
I haven't realized that yet. I haven't realized that.
All right. Respond to this statement. Howard men don't cheat.
True statement. True statement.
That's facts, right?
Facts.
Cool, man. Hey, thanks for coming on the show, man. I appreciate your time, bro.
Man, no problem, man. Thanks for having me, man. Keep doing your thing, bro.
Thank you for joining the HU Movemaker podcast, where we highlight folks that have contributed to the Howard legacy at the highest levels. To hear more interviews or purchase merchandise, please visit www.humovemakers.com.